Hello everybody, it's Ophelia Gadrone from Talk Monsters here. Gonna get some deck techs in. This is actually a casual list that I have together. First I wanted to say I hope that all of you are safe and healthy, and I want to know that I worry about all of you, and I want to make sure you all make it out safe. Um, all of you have made my life better, so I want you to stick around. This is a casual list. It uses Kenrith, and it's built around Happily Ever After. You can either win with the Happily Ever After, or you can use it with, say, Tainted Remedy. Um, you can copy the Happily Ever After using Copy Enchantment, Estrades, or Mirrormaid, though in Magic Online it can actually break the game when you do that. Alternatively, though, you can also just flat out shotgun somebody out of the game with Beacon of Immortality. Let's actually move this stuff over here so we can take a proper look at this game. And it's a bit of a stacksy list. This is a kind of upper end casual. We're looking around maybe a 7 or an 8 on the power scale. If you wanted to make this on paper, some of these cards might be expensive, so you might want to make some alterations. For instance, with the mana base and such. Some of the choices in this deck are literally here to best be a combination of value and usability combined with being able to make sure that you have the number of colors in play to trigger a win with Happily Ever After. I've been doing some little tweaks and twiddlings with it over the last little while. I'm not 100% sold on the current mana setup. As we've switched over to Stony Silence, Nullrod type of build with Collector Oof, I think I might need to make some... I've actually added some extra land into this deck. It was sitting at 28, but I had a whole bunch of 0 mana rocks. However, I've had a lot of hands that started at one land and still took over the game. So I think it still works. I've gotten it up to 30, and I've made some slight adjustments and changes. I added this Knight of Reliquary. I'm not sure if it's right in the slot, but I'm testing it out. There was a stasis in here earlier, and I wasn't liking how it played out, so I cut it. And you're looking to do is control the board, draw some cards, get Tainted Remedy out, have it protected, and then you can kill people with Collapsing Borders, Happily Ever After, and Beacon of Mortality, which is really fun when you shotgun somebody out of the game with Beacon. I'm not running False Cure. Definitely an argument that I should be, but I had it in a much earlier list, and it wasn't feeling it. It just kind of sits in your hand. Most of the stuff in here is designed to either gain card advantage or protect your stuff, or stacks out the opponents. Some examples of stacks and control elements is you have stuff like Seal of Fire and Seal of Doom, and where's the other? Seal of Primordium. Actually, might even change this over to the white seal, just because there's a low number of white. It might be better to actually have the white seal in that slot. The original. Likewise, it might be better to have Trapped in the Moon instead of Song of the Dryads. For a similar reason. Yeah, I'm actually going to do that now. Imprisoned in the Moon. My problem is this has a limit on the number of things it can hit, but I think it might be better than Song. Do I have the other seal? I may not. Also, there should probably be an Estrade in here. No, I don't have the white seal currently, so that'll stay. There should be an Estrade in here, but I don't have one, and she's over 20 tickets at the moment. And I'd probably stick her there. where the Knight Reliquary is. It's also an argument for running Notion Thief, because it's actually pretty good with Happily Ever After. I'm just not sure. Actually, I think I'll cut the Knight Reliquary for a Notion Thief. I think that's correct. Only artifact mana we have are a Soul Ring and a Mana Crypt. If you don't own either, the Soul Ring's pretty easy to get right now, I think. You just go for some lands. They're literally there to just be fast on the early turns, and their value is high enough that even if you get a Null Rod, it's no big deal. And one replenish. You can aim Ashiok at yourself, but only do that if you actually have the replenish in your hand. Anyways, let's get some. There's some other things you can do. Is you can also use Kenrith to shotgun people out of the game as well. Once you have Tainted Remedy, is a huge part of why he specifically is the commander. Plus, he can draw you cards, and he can bring back a lot of your Enchantress creatures and such out of the graveyard. Let's get into a game. See how long that this fills up. So hit me below in the comments. Tell me how you've been spending your quarantine time, how you're feeling. And a lot of people are really at a loss. I want you to know if you want to get some Magic in, if you like Magic and Commander. I'm trying to stream every day. Give you something to do and some people to reach out to. There's links below to my Discord and my Twitch. Looks like this might take a bit of time. Commentary on the new sounds that got added in Magic Online. I find with them running that you get a lot more crashes when the stack gets large. It has trouble managing stacks now, so I flat out turned all the sounds off, which normally I leave a couple of them on, so now I don't even get any alerts on Magic Online. And if any Wizards of the Coast's employees are possibly watching this, they should keep that in mind and listen to that, because that's literally crash after crash after crash in multiple games. And then, there we go, we're starting. The moment I turned off all the sounds, it stopped happening. I've played Mateo before. I don't know the other two. This is a really good open. Power level wise, I'm thinking this is around a 7 or an 8, just from my experiences. Not too worried about Anjay. They're usually reanimator decks. Sometimes they can cycle through their deck really quick, but I haven't really seen anything absolutely amazing out of them. Itali can be interesting. Golos, I don't think I remember Mateo playing high-end Golos. I think they play more Guild Gates. I'm not sure. We'll see. I may be wrong. Ooh, blood pet. Nobody's ever doing anything fair if they're running a blood pet, or at least they're trying not to. That'll be useful next turn. Am I worried about a Wheel of Fortune? Okay. When it comes to playing opening hand like Soul Rings or Mana Crypts or any Moxen that you may not immediately be able to get value out of, you got to take a look at the board and what people are playing. What are the chances you're going to be forced to discard it due to like a wheel effect, or what is versus what is the chance it's going to get destroyed while it's in play? And with Anjay and Itali here, I'm thinking there's a pretty high chance of a wheel, so I'm going to put it out. Now, I have no interaction at all, so I'm going to right-click here and choose Yield until end of turn. A new feature they added recently, so you don't have to tap out to pass priority. Depending on what we see next turn, we're probably either going to play this Karn or this Eidolon. My cat Randy has come over to say hi and get some pets. Since we get the most mana options off of this Noble Hierarch, I'm going to use this to fetch a green source and then play this Eidolon. Unless I draw something better. But yeah, a hand with lots of mana, an Enchantress effect, a Sterling Grove, and some interaction slash staxing effect is actually really good. You want some some. You need all card types in this deck. So I might not, like, if I wasn't running Happily Ever After, I might not necessarily run Carninier, even though I think he's fantastic and really at shutting stuff down. Is it possible to play both? I don't think so. So I think we go like this. Oh, this allows us to play the Sterling Grove, though. So green. Can we play both? No. I'm only able to get 3 colored mana. So we're going to get a Tropical Island. Play the Blossoms. If I could have had another colored mana, I would have played this and then the Sterling Grove. Ideal top deck would be some sort of 1 mana spell, but it isn't. I could attack, no point, rather keep up potential interaction, even just to bluff it. So Matteo said they're playing Populate, so they're looking to make tokens. So I'm expecting them to maybe want a white right of replication, something. That seems like a big mana thing to do with Golos. Now Karn gets good. So we're gonna play this and this, probably. One thing about Karn is the second ability. I run him in a lot of decks that have very key components that happen to be artifacts simply because you can get them back out of exile, which is important. Like if you're looking to get if you have some sort of Isochron scepter, like dramatic reversal, and you lose your scepter, you can get it back. As an example. So yeah, the first play is going to be this, so we can draw. Are they blowing up my crypt here? They're thinking about something. Chaos Warp on my crypt. What are you doing? That'll be good in a bit. So we're not gonna draw, or like we're not gonna play this land yet. I want to see what we get off of this. So we're gonna play that and that. Aha. Fire Covenant's good. So it's a good thing we have a backup enchanter. And we'll just kill off the crypt. Not a nice robot. So that keeps Etalai from coming out. Or Etalay. Etali. How's his name pronounced? Etali. Etalai. Could be just Fred. All that pumps up mountains. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. If we draw land, we can go here into there. No, we don't have red. So it might be Narset. Let's see what it finds. Don't usually see Fire Covenant in casual. Such a good card, though. You're in. If you have access to Rakdos mana. Oh, there we go. That's perfect. So we get a white and a green. And then we play this. Though we don't have a mountain. Collapsing Borders is fun. It's for those who have never seen it, it's an old card for at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player gains 1 life for each basic land type among land types they control, and then it deals 3 damage to them. Ooh, that's a good reset. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Karn doesn't have to target anything, so I won't. This starts turning into a clock if I can find a Tainted Remedy. Excuse me. I'm drinking a coffee while we play. Yeah. Karn shuts that off. Look at all those rocks. Psychotic episode. The XL, but there it is. I'm going to lose a card here. I'm probably the best target. Yep. Considering Rift doesn't do a lot here to them, I think Narset's the choice, as it shuts off Anjay. It's actually an argument that I should have played that last turn for that very reason. Jeweled Amulet. That's a pseudo mox that shows up in a lot of competitive lists. I think this is a attempt at a semi-competitive Anjay, which is pretty nice. All right. I think we gain 1 life here, if I'm reading my math right. Yep. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not going to bother paying for that. All right, so I'm going to put that on here. Oh, there we go. gonna blow up my land in response, are you? That's weird. Actually want that extra planar lens gone. That's funny. That messes up my math a bit. I'll have to hold off on this. I think I actually want to slap my commander down here. I think I need the body. I'm going to start using that as a draw engine. Let's trample. Just let Anjay die. I guess with the lens, it's really easy to recast her. Soak up some pain. Don't usually do a lot of attacking in this deck. So Collapsing Borders is slowly killing Dlee, Coker, and Captain Black. It's about even for, let's see, white, green, blue, black, red. Mateo's actually getting life. Wonder if there's a board wipe coming. It's actually another good reason to play the commander instead of the Enchantress. If there's a board wipe coming from black, probably a damnation or something. Karn doing a lot of work in this match. Yeah, but I'm thinking there might be some sort of board wipe happening. Captain Black looks definitely has an interesting deck. I don't know about what I feel about Bolt Bend. If they just play Anjay again, that'll like be weird. Pretty sure I spelled Ricochet wrong. Strength of Lunacy. Hmm. This extra planar lens is doing way too much work for black, so I really want to get that off the board. Let's see what we draw. Eh. Jace is there. That's probably the slot Estrid's going to go in. Yeah, I don't normally... It's normally not correct to main step this. But I think, particularly with this deck and also with our current board state, I think it's right. I think regular damage should go this way, and Kenrith damage should go at Mateo. I had a feeling that would make them drop. They had nothing. Karn shut them right out of the game. That's why it's good to vary up your ramp, though it's hard to do in mono red. You need some land fetching tools if you're going to play mono red, I think. Wayfarer's Bauble, which I think I saw them use. Um, Depending on what you're doing, stuff like Seething Song and other ramp sorceries and instants can be useful. Stuff that fetches land out of your deck. Definitely want Ancient Tomb in mono red. In fact, I think mono red might be the only color I'd run. There's a situational taps for 2 if you have 5 lands but does nothing. I'm forgetting the name of it. But I don't think that's a very good card. Well, I really want to draw Spreading Seas, is that it? Yeah, Spreading Seas would be really good here. One thing I advise, always when things reveal cards, always keep a idea of people's revealed card zones. And when you see the thing that's revealed get played, then remove it so that you have an idea of what people are doing. I can't tell you how many times I've beaten people just because I know that they're not watching the revealed card zone, and I've revealed stuff and they've played right into it. So always keep an eye on this zone here. So I'm worried about this. I might give this Jace haste. See, there's some mono red ramp. Hope they don't sacrifice my Kenrith. That'd suck. Because I actually kind of need it to give this Jace haste, I think. Some advice on cards like Mana Crypt. Pick what you're going to flip for heads and tails now. Flip the same thing every single time. Never think about it. It makes literally no difference what you pick. It's a 50-50 either way. And you don't want to waste time thinking about what you should be flipping. Oh, see, now this is a problem. Because I need that red mana for Seal. Which I still think is right. It draws me a card. Might have wanted to play this, but yeah. Damn it. Actually, I can draw a card. What's the cost on that? 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's better to just draw a card here. Oh, that's nice. Oops. Yeah, so this Jace would probably be an Estrid if I owned one. There's also an argument for a Tuvasa in here somewhere. Tuvasa is pretty good. I'm not sure what. I think we have a lot of Enchantress effects though, and she's, as far as Enchantress draw effects, she's probably the weakest because she only draws one per turn. Might actually sacrifice my Sterling Grove. See if we can get some replenish value. Haha. That's really cool. It'd be a pretty small replenish, but it would. I think I actually kind of need it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, sacrifice. I'm not seeing any enchantment removal. Mateo probably has some. You're not going to get a lot from that from Black Red. Chaos Warp is usually about it. There's also some new black cards that let people make people sacrifice enchantments. Yeah, I think Karn's really strong in this meta. Since it completely shuts off Smothering Tithe, which is one of the most powerful white cards in Commander. Oh, let's see what they get with their Shred Memory. So I have a stop on my upkeep. I think I'm going to search for something big so I can ditch it with Jace and then replenish. And we could take out this fallen Shinobi with Seal of Fire then. Eidolon's different than a lot of other enchantresses in that it triggers off entering the battlefield, so it's going to gain also a lot of value with Replenish. Braid. I wonder if they're going to blow up my Satyr. Satyr or Jace is good. Could also blow up Golos. Any of those are good targets. Okay, that changes things a little bit. So I can't cycle whatever I find. Alright. So we're going to sacrifice this on our upkeep. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. I have 2 free if I'm going to cast something. How many islands are there? 1. So that's mana neutral. I think I'm going to get Tainted Remedy. Actually, Spreading Seas. Duh. Alright. Okay, now we're going to shoot that. Replenish. Hope for no fairy. Now we draw some cards. Shoot that again. And let's shut off coffers. Still haven't played a land. There we go. So we play this. We need red now, so let's get ourselves some red mana. I think Badlands. It's protect Karn by playing an Ulrod. And then shut off our own mana crypt. Wilderness Reclamation is really good with Kenrith because then we can just slap it down and start drawing cards off Kenrith. That was a pretty good replenish, I think. You had another coffers? We'd actually get a copy enchantment instead. Okay, now that's a problem. But the Karn's not even doing anything anymore. Unless they also have removal for the Null Rod. I think I really want to get Tainted Remedy here. I want to get that in play and get that started. I think the correct play would probably be copy enchantment, but that's a really big part of my deck. So, especially since I can now just shotgun people. One, two, three, four, five. Black. Good, there's a land. So I'm going to play this Blind Obedience here. Slow shit down a bit. Nice. Ideally, some sort of one drop right here would be good. Hmm. I'm going to cycle this. Technically, it might have better... Like, I have most of the creatures I'm going to want. I could use it to get a giant next turn, but I think I'd rather have a potential blocker if necessary. Now this does 5 and then they take 3. So over there, that's doing 7 damage a turn. Oh, sorry, 8 damage a turn. And it's doing 5 over here. Oh no. This might be a problem. I think Golos has a really good chance of just beating us here, even though we have this game now. We'll see. They're going to be doing some coin flipping. Should be able to lock zone windows open or export them, like drag them out. Likewise, the floating zones that it creates when it's revealing cards, you should be able to then make them into one of these. Don't think that's going to work quite the way you want it to. That's not going to work the way you want it to. I shouldn't have played the Trostani. This Horde Chief's gonna kill them. Alright, these have trample, so I can't do dick about them, really. Yeah, they just killed themselves. The Tainted Remedy. Anyways, that's this deck. It could win with Happily Ever After, it could win with Beacon, and it could even go wide if needed. Kenrith is good at that, and you can also just shotgun people out of the game with Kenrith with the life gain ability. It's really fun. There's a lot of variation you can make in it, but this is so far the list that I like that works. And I think the mistake that the Anjay player made was destroying Karn, because it gave Mateo an out if they could find an answer to Null Rod. So I don't think they were really paying attention to the Tainted Remedy out there. The Trostani killed them, as well as the Brutal Horde Chief. Those were both really, really bad ideas. Anyways, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and also the links below if you want to join me on Twitch or my Discord, or help me on Patreon, and chat with you guys all later. Have some good games and be safe.